We're live. This is awesome. I am JonahGabriel. I'm going to be your host for this evening, a guest host. I've got lots of love and appreciation for Nameless for allowing me to guest host this evening. Guidebook Gaming is the channel that's bringing you all this awesome content every day, 2 hours or so of content every day. It's pretty amazing, and I'm just massively appreciative for that consistency. Tonight we've got a really special program for you. We're going to do what I've been referring to as a visionary leadership panel discussion, and the guests that we have in the Discord and in the Earth2 space, I consider to be the visionary leaders of the player pool of this game, at least the ones that I've interacted with. I know that there are definitely other people doing amazing things, researching, like scouring the planet for awesome places to exist and buy for the future of this game. But in my experience, this crew is the cream of the crop. And so tonight's going to be a little bit different than other streams. My invitation to people who are watching is to sort of like, kick back, listen as though you would listen to a podcast. Maybe you're on the Earth2 platform and you're buying tiles while you listen. And as a lot of the other streams have talked about strategy and game mechanics, tonight we're going to talk about culture and community and world building. And you may know me from my YouTube channel. I am the Friendly Anthropologist, the anthropologist on Earth2, and I come with a perspective lens of cultural anthropology. And so that's the type of show that we've got planned for you tonight. How I would love to start is with a round of introductions. So, we've been really active in the chat, in the Discord, and we haven't yet necessarily as a group put faces to names, and this is a great opportunity and a time to do that. This is one of the intentions of tonight is to have a little bit more humanizing of an experience, a little bit more intimate, personable, and so thank you all for showing up with your faces, your beautiful faces, and please, we'll do a round. I'll call on you, and please introduce yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about your background and your story. And keep in mind, we've got a lot of questions for tonight, so, keep it within a few minutes or less. Why don't we start with TechOps?
Oh, thanks, Jonah. TechOps here. I live in Arizona. It's been a little while since I've had a job, so it was real nice to see this Earth2 come around just in time for me to, make a ton of cash. I have a background in IT, but I'd really much rather play a game for a living, so let's do that.
Love it. Otherwise?
Otherwise, I'm from nowhere, okay? All of you guys that have been watching the stream knows that I don't live anywhere. You might consider my home base Detroit. I was born in Ohio, but I would consider myself an entrepreneur. One of the biggest things that attracted me to Earth2 was the money-making ability as well as TechOps. That's all for me.
Nice. Nameless?
Hey everybody, Nameless here. I'm normally here every day, so usually if the stream's running, I'm here, so I hope most folks know where I'm at. I'll probably dodge the where I'm from. What I will say is I speak Pacific Standard Time, so when anybody talks to me, they know I say we're doing so-and-so at Pacific Standard Time. as far as my journey, I was lucky, I was blessed, if I'm totally honest, to have enough liquidity available that I could say, let's go big on Earth2. And, otherwise is really good about saying, don't put in more than you can risk. And I'm towing that line, maybe I'm flirting with it a little bit, but, I'm confident, and it's something I could recover from if it doesn't turn out to be what I expect it to be. But I'm super duper confident. I'm really excited to do the things we're doing. We have a whole vision. I know a lot of folks here have seen bits and pieces of what we're doing. I plan to create a very strong, stable position for myself that hopefully leads to financial freedom, some great income for myself. But then also I've done a lot and tried to buy up areas, communities, whole towns. And that's how we do the giveaways, is the community has given us an amazing amount of support. We've got giveaways planned for the whole year. I would echo what TechOps said is I definitely would have so much fun playing a game for a living and hanging out with all of you. And there's nothing better than helping uplift and level up your friends. So, we got giveaways planned for a whole year, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. And I'm excited that you invited me here to be on this panel, Jonah.
Awesome. Thanks, Nameless. The Earth2 lady.
Well, kind of like everybody else is saying, the pandemic basically turned our whole world upside down. We're in Nashville. Nashville has had a heck of a year between a tornado early in the year and then the pandemic and then just now a bombing. It has been a very wild place to live. And I stumbled upon Earth2 and it just instantly made sense to me. And I started playing around with it, and I saw the potential, and here I am. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited.
And we're happy to have you and really appreciative of your place holding down the feminine in this group. There's a lot of men here, a lot of manly energy, and I think it's really important in any sort of community building and culture building exercise to have inclusivity and diversity of genders, races, ethnicities, sexual preferences, religions, and especially as an international global platform, mega important. And so I think that we are going to continue to strive for that representation within programming that we create, content that we create, our communities that we're building. So thanks for holding down the feminine with us. Stern.
Okay, what's up, everybody? I'm Stern. I'm from Kansas, and I spend entirely way too much time on Earth2. If you guys don't know, it seems like I haven't slept in like a couple days now, and I think the only person that beats me is TechOps. So I am on here all the time. You can catch me on Discord anytime in ours, or I'm the liaison over in Alphas. But yeah, I heard about this. I'm one of the TikTok people. I heard about it from TikTok, and I was originally going to be one of the first people to invest in Bitcoin when it started out. I heard about it when it was 8 cents a piece, and my friend told me about it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I looked at it, and I couldn't figure out how to buy the Bitcoins. And it took me like 20, 30 minutes, and then I was just like, I give up. I'm not going to do it. And I was going to put $100 in it. Yeah. And ever since that day, I have kicked myself for not going into Bitcoin. And so when I heard about this on TikTok, I was like, I'm in. Let's do it. I'm going to just learn this game and see how good I can be at it.
Similar.
Nice. So I'm gonna throw all of our panelists' codes in the chat, and throughout the evening, if one of the panelists say something that you vibe with, you resonate with, and you're on there on Earth2 and you're buying some property, use one of their codes and support them for their generosity of time to be with us tonight and talk about their experience. We're going to do one more introduction round. This is a little bit more fun one. This question is, what is your superpower? And the reasoning for this question is what I'm trying to glean from this group of people is what is the unique perspective lens that you bring to the game and unique skill set that you bring to the game. So, what is your superpower, TechOps?
So I was going to go with my standard, which is if I walk up to a computer, it just starts working. This has been this way for years. But as it relates to the game, I'm going to say wild speculation.
Yeah. Nice. Otherwise, what's your superpower?
If I were to say I was going to have a superpower, I would say it would be premonition or a sixth sense. I only say that because when I get a feeling for something, it typically turns out the way I feel about it. I can't go into too much detail other than that, but it's a basic superpower. But I'm just saying, I feel good about Earth-2.
Nice. The power of forethought.
Yeah.
Premonition. Prophecy. Nameless.
My superpower is I play StarCraft, and the reason I say that is because I feel like there are so many people. You know the phrase they say this is chess, not checkers, and in so many areas of my life, I try to take that situation. In chess, you take turns. In StarCraft, it's real time. Go, 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 go. You got to make the best decision. You got to make it now. You have to be confident. You have to execute, and you have to do it in milliseconds. And you turn that part of your brain on, and you never, ever, ever turn it off. So from that perspective, I would say there are people out here playing chess in Earth-2, planning out moves, things like that. And I'm playing StarCraft. If anybody's been on the stream, you've seen. I did a stream. I tried to spend $1,000 in a stream, and we bought so many properties. We found them so inexpensive. We did so much research, and we were so efficient. We weren't able to spend $1,000 over the course of an entire stream because I'm that efficient and I'm that fast at each click, each process, each boom, 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 always going. So, I'd say StarCraft is my superpower. Shout out Tasteless if you ever see this. Shout out.
Nice. And I see you, sir, as the architect. You are architecting right now, and I love it. Yeah, Nameless, you.
Oh, stop it. Everybody refer Jonah. Jonah's the man. He's our host.
The Earth-2 lady. What is your superpower?
Well, I say probably instincts and the ability to adapt. So even if I think something's going to happen, and then I realize that maybe I'm not right and I see another possibility, I'm okay with that. And I can adapt and make the best of any situation.
I love that answer because adaptability, if you talk to people who are deep into evolutionary anthropology and how humans have gotten to where we are in the place on this planet within the animal kingdom and the various biomes and ecosystem niches of this planet, it's because we're adaptable. Mm-hmm. And that is, as humans, our superpower. So I love that answer. Stern, what's your superpower?
I would say recognizing talent in other people. Because when I came into this, I did not spend the money that other people spend on here. All I did was I recognized these people have certain sets of skills. I believe I recruited TechOps for SHP, and I was just like, this is a wild man, and he is going to think outside the box, and that is what we need in our organization. And so I was just trying to see the talent in other people, build them up to know they were a valued member of the communities, and build our community.
Beautiful. The recruiter.
Yep.
upper level management. Awesome, Stern. Thank you. All right. I want to take a moment just to introduce myself and share what my superpower is. I'm an anthropologist by academic training. Got a master's degree and an undergraduate degree in both cultural anthropology and marketing. Was going to be a professor of anthropology. That was my career track. I was in a PhD program. I did field work all over the world, in Solomon Islands in the South Pacific, and in Belize in Central America, and Jamaica in the Caribbean. And about 3 years into my PhD, I got hurt and I called it quits. And right around that time, I realized that I'd been spending so much time studying other people's cultures that I really wanted to be at the center of the swirl of cultural creation and find my people. And I went to Burning Man for the first time. Any of you who don't know what Burning Man is, it's a massive gathering where a city is built out in the middle of the desert in Nevada.
Beautiful.
And it's art and radical self-expression and creativity and everything under the sun. Your mind is blown when you go there. And so from that point forward, I decided to start creating a festival called Lucidity Festival with an amazing group of people here in Santa Barbara, California. And we've been doing that for the last 10 years. And so I've been a festival producer, but really festival production is like my platform and my medium for community building. And that's one of the things I love about Earth2 is that there's this other opportunity for community building at this time when all of us are sort of, in our houses, global pandemic, and so much is happening virtually, and it's an opportunity to both community build, have fun, meet new people, and make money. It's like win, 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 win. So that's me. My superpower is I'm a messenger. And so you see that in my YouTube videos. You can check out my channel on YouTube, search Jonah Haas, Earth2. Happy to be your host for this evening. So, all right, everybody's introduced. We know who the players are who are here in this visionary leadership panel discussion. Now I want to arc the conversation that we're going to have tonight. And we're going to move through 3 phases of discussion. And remember, my intention for tonight is really to be talking about the cultural aspects of the game, the community building aspects of the game. So we're going to start with what got us here and where have we been. Take stock of sort of the context within which we find ourselves. Then we're going to look at where are we now. This is where we're going to zoom into the game and talk about the game and what we're up to and how these teams are expressing themselves in the game and what we're creating together. And then we're going to look to the future, and we're going to talk about what we see and the possibilities. This is where wild speculation might come in. And that's our arc. And in between each of those, we'll take a break and we'll give away land. Does that sound good? In the chat, let us know if that sounds good. You want us to give away land at each break? I think you probably do. Big shout out to Alpha Kingdom for sponsoring the land giveaways. We're going to dive right into taking stock of where we've been, the context that we find ourselves in, what got us to this place. And so I want you to zoom all the way out and look at this year. It's been such a whopper. We find ourselves in a global pandemic, many of us experiencing lots of international tensions as well. We've seen the rise of disinformation and conspiracy theories worldwide, the widespread civil unrest associated with racial injustice, police brutality, and widening gap of wealth inequality. Then there's the silent Goliath of climate change breathing down our necks. We saw massive fires in Australia. The fires in California have been getting worse and worse every year. We've got massive impacts associated with hurricanes, and that's not even touching the rising sea level. So big stuff to deal with there. We've seen the rollout of 5G, and I think did the government like quietly slip in alien disclosure also at some point this year?
Yes, they did.
I think they did. And so, you know, there's all of this that's going on, and I know that that's like a lot of FUD. That's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But I think it's important for us to acknowledge it. And I know I'm talking for a little while here. I'm going to get to my question, I promise. This is all framing, right? This is just acknowledging where we're at. Simultaneously, though, we see ourselves in a place of being the most interconnected that we've ever been. All of the knowledge of all of human history is basically at our fingertips. Innovation is speeding up. We're arguably on the precipice, in my opinion, of a complete overhaul of how we generate energy, how we distribute services like medical care, and how we unite to tackle the associated threats of climate change. And let's face it, the memes have been fire. And so I say all that because it frames where we're at, and I really believe that the future is in our hands. And we are world builders. We are community leaders. And all of a sudden, plop, right in our laps, Earth2 arrives out of nowhere. And so the question that I really want to pose is, what are we going to do with it? Given all of those things that I just acknowledged and ran through, how are we going to use our energy in this virtual Earth to not replicate the bull crap issues that we're dealing with on Earth 1? And so the question is, what is the significance of this game for this cultural moment? TechOps.
Okay, for one, Nameless's ethics that he has brought to the whole coalition is just absolutely amazing. If we were going to build a second Earth, then having the ethics that Nameless every single day is providing, that's got to be key. I think it's changed a lot of people's minds as to how they even want to play this. You know, everybody is getting some really wild ideas. They're really intense about the money that is just exponentially growing throughout the game, and they want more. And every once in a while we have to shut some people down because it's real close to violation.
Terms of service line.
Yeah. So I think just in building this world, if we can keep Nameless's ethical compass, my wild speculation moral compass that's going on in there, and I don't think Nameless has even read any of my stuff in wild speculation. I've tried to get him to several times, but that 5D theory is where it's at. All right.
We're going to get to that, TechOps. When we're looking into the future and talking about possibilities, we're going to put you on the spot for that wild speculation. We're going to change the order here since you are referencing Nameless and a code of ethics. Nameless, why don't you tell us about that code of ethics and what it's all about?
So, I mean, it's three things, three simple words I would pose to everybody, which is something I learned when I was 16. I left high school when I was 16. I was just over it. I decided I got to a point in my life. This probably sounds ridiculous to a lot of people, but I was staying up all night or hanging out at the library, sneaking onto the college campuses at night so I could sit in the library and read books all night, and then not doing any of my schoolwork. That doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but I always did whatever it was that I wanted to do. And I always felt, or I tried to make sure that my heart was always in the right place, do things that are good into the world, right? Like that movie Pay It Forward, I think is a really good example. I think I've spoken to someone on this call about that before. Just always try to do the right thing. Always look out for the people around you, because those are the people who are going to look out for you. And then to your question of, what are we going to do with it? Right. I think everybody knows what my plan is. I'm going to give it away. I was in a very, very comfortable position to make a big investment into, for me, somebody's going to roll in here with a couple more commas than I've got and really change the game. But, with what I was able to do, what I've been trying to build, I can't think of anything more exciting and more fun to do with it than give it away to people who are hanging out with us here, so that we all have something really fun and exciting to do together.
Nice. Yeah, it's important that sort of generosity from people that are in a position of leadership. It's a stark contrast to the leadership that I see in the political landscape of our world right now. So, all right. Otherwise, what's the significance of this game for this cultural moment that we find ourselves in?
I'm going to have to say that there's a huge significance. There's so much crap, crud, shit, whatever you want to call it out there in the world. We have an opportunity with Earth2 to take all that shit, and we're going to take all that crap, and we're going to build these kingdoms, these whatever it is that we're going to build. And personally, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to build it. That was my dream from the very beginning. As soon as I bought land on Earth2, I was like, guess what? I'm going to be we're going to be the first guild. We created the what I would like to call the first guild since the very beginning, and ever since then, I've always focused on having a certain set of, hey, this is what it's got to be. This is what we need, things with integrity. That's how me and Nameless hooked up together. That was actually me and you, Nameless, by the way, that talked about that Pay It Forward. For all of you guys out there watching, if you have not watched Pay It Forward, seriously consider putting your life on hold and going to watch that movie, Pay It Forward. It's the best movie there is. And that's what I think that we personally need to do with this cultural opportunity, is to just pay it forward.
I love that. I saw in the chat, Tyler the Gamer says, significance is get money. And I want to say, yeah, get money. And let's think a little bit deeper than that also, because I feel like there's an ethos, especially within our sort of globalizing capitalist world, that it's like, get money and get money, screw all the rest. And get money.
It's an 18+ stream.
All right, cool. Get money at the expense of other people. And so, we see this huge widening wealth inequality gap where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And that's one of the root causes of so many of the social issues we see on this planet right now. And so I'm always looking for what I like to call mutual abundance systems. And you could, in a short way, call that win-win systems or win-win-win systems. And I feel like that's what I see in Earth2 is the possibility for mutual abundance systems where we can uplift each other, all support one another. And I like to say a rising tide uplifts all ships. And I think that so far in this game system, we're seeing that. We'll see if it's sustainable and if it keeps going like that. But so far, we're seeing a mutual abundance system. And so thanks for that answer otherwise. And thanks, Tyler the Gamer. Yeah, get money, but get money in a system that values mutual benefit. The Earth2 lady, let's hear from you. What is the significance of this game for this cultural moment?
Well, I mean, you guys have already said a lot of what I feel beautifully. And I think the only thing that I can add is, humans are not designed to be isolated. We are social creatures. And since we've kind of all been forced into various levels of isolation through this pandemic, a need has kind of been born to still socialize in new and innovative ways. And I mean, everything that I can see about Earth2 seems to really be the future, and truly a way to bring everybody together. And yeah, I mean, you guys said it so beautifully. I really don't know what to add to it. I just know that, we're not meant to be alone, and this is a beautiful way to come together.
Yeah, thank you. Togetherness, collaboration, cooperation. I think that's one of the things that really attracted me to Alpha Kingdom and also SHP, the different guilds that were forming right in that sort of like formative moment where people were like, oh, this is really cool, and let's start to form groups and organizations. And there were some organizations that were a little bit tyrannical and not democratic. And I just loved that within Alpha Kingdom and SHP, there were leaders who were like, yeah, we want to be based off of principles of cooperation and transparency and ethics and responsibility and mutual benefit. Love that. Stern, we want to hear from you. And then right after Stern, we're going to do a land giveaway. So Stern, what is the significance of this game for this cultural moment in time?
I love how we're all coming together for like Earth2, but I'm not really focused on this time about what I can do for Earth2. I'm trying to create a community where, yeah, times aren't great right now. People aren't having the greatest times of their lives. And so that's why our motto in SHP is have fun and make money. Because if you can laugh and smile and have a great time and distract yourself in this game, in this moment, from the rest of the BS that's going on out in the world, that's what we want. That's what we want to provide in SHP is we're just trying to have fun, have the most fun possible, joke around with each other, and earn a little bit of cash while we do it, because that just makes it better.
Nice. I hear in that answer and in the conversation about this being a way for people to earn money is that in a time when the shit has hit the fan and a lot of people are unemployed and we need alternative options for earnings, that this showed up and it's working for a fair amount of people. Even only after 3 weeks, it's literally working for generating income. I'm currently doing a 72-hour living wage challenge where I'm challenging my portfolio and my income to see if I can generate $200 a day sustained over 3 days. And that's $200 a day of withdrawable income, not net worth. My net worth's going up thousands a day, but of real withdrawable income, $200 a day, that's it's an 8-hour day at $25 an hour. And so far it's been 48 hours. I'm totally on track. So, and that's only after being in the game for 2.5 weeks. So I've got high hopes for this as a way for us to be more resilient financially. So thanks for that answer. All right. So far we have introduced our panelists. Everybody knows the players. We have talked about this moment. We've sort of framed the context for where we're at globally, internationally, and within the United States. And now I want to zoom into the game and talk about this now moment, which is really a moment that is, I think all of us feel it. It's really exciting in this game right now. It's an amazing moment. Things are moving so fast. I loved Nameless's description earlier about how he's playing in real time like he was playing StarCraft, just getting in there and crushing. And so I want to ask the question, as we're in there building, heads down, like making things happen, finding awesome spots to buy, considering financial ramifications of what we're up to, trying to flip properties, deciding which ones to hold for the long time, speculating over what the future phases of this game are going to be and how resources are going to spawn and what can we create on our land. I want to ask the question, what are our responsibilities as players of this game? But more than players of this game, if we're thinking of ourselves as world builders for a future Earth 2 simulation that's going to be overlaid over Earth 1 and is going to be massively adopted by a global population, and we're early adopter world builders, what is our responsibility? TechOps, we're going to start with you, bud.
All right, so our responsibility now, I was chatting with Nameless for, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours last night because I had some questions about his city building stuff. And, I got the initial, what he's trying to go for with it. But there was a couple key things that I didn't quite get. And I have a feeling that some of the other leadership maybe doesn't quite get it all the way either. So just in case he hasn't explained it very well, just come talk to me because I think I've got it figured out now. I may be building suburbs real soon. Techopia, I believe. So our responsibility is just got to be to build this up so that, it's not like Earth 1. There's so much potential in Earth 2 for what can be done. And that's all what my wild speculation is about. I absolutely don't think this is just a game. I think they have so much more in store for this. After watching Dylan Sau's interview where he talks about businesses needing an environment that is not a flat panel Zoom screen where they can go in and do a 3D model mock-up of a car, walk around and see stuff. The children that are at home laying on their beds asleep while their laptops are laying on top of them, going to school. I mean, they wouldn't be asleep if they were in a virtual 3D environment that they could participate with people in the class. And I mean, obviously there's so many ways you can go with teaching and learning in a virtual reality platform. If it's more than a game, we need to develop the communities, the schools, the businesses, and make it that new world that we would rather live in than anything that even looks like what we currently have as a system. Slave wage is rampant. You absolutely have to have 2, 3, 4 people in a household working full-time jobs just to be able to support what 50 years ago they could do with half a day and one person.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I heard in there the importance of education. I heard in there the importance of financial sustainability. And so, yeah, and I also heard creating the world that we wish to live in, which is, I think, paramount. We're going to switch up the order, and let's go down. Stern, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I think the most important thing we can do is make this a fun experience for everybody. Because we honestly don't know what we're going to be able to do in this game yet or not. We don't know hardly anything about it, and I think that's why everybody's so pumped up today to hear maybe we can get the slightest tidbit of information from these devs on what we can do so we can start planning going forward.
Super excited about that.
Yeah. And so all that I'm trying to do is stay calm, just keep doing what I'm doing, and as soon as I find out some information, I'm going to put my nose to the grindstone, figure out what I can do with that information, just like I did with the Land Rush event. Just figure out how we can make it fun and profitable and make sure everybody has a great time. So that's my whole mindset going forward on it, is just if we're able to build schools, yeah, let's build the best school, the most fun school ever to go to, where they've got little virtual Pokemon running around them and having them teach the kids math. And I'm a teacher, so I'm all for the education side of it, because I know my kids learn better when they are excited and they are passionate about something. So yeah, if that's what it turns into, I'm on board 100%.
Nice, Darren. I hear in your answer the importance of making sure that it stays fun for everybody. The Earth2 lady, what's our responsibility as users, as world builders, as early adopters, as we're in there playing the game?
I think to lead by example. You know, I mean, there are always turds in the world. Turds come along from time to time. But I think that, you know, if we stick together and lead by example, then that could have a ripple effect and have a long-lasting effect on the future of Earth2.
Nice. I appreciate that. Otherwise?
Man, we have so many things that we have to do. So number one, everybody just needs to treat everybody with respect. All right. The Earth2 lady here, she said it, should lead by example. If you haven't, I'm going to say it again. If you haven't watched the movie, pay it forward. Watch it. Watch the movie, pay it forward. You'll never regret it. If you're a woman, if you're a man, it doesn't matter who you are, you're never going to regret watching that movie. So we got to make sure that we leave an example behind for everybody. We got to make sure that we're doing things correctly. We are the architects of the future of Earth2, especially as early as we are inside of the game. We're buying tiles left and right like nobody's business, and nobody can stop us, because by the time other people get in with more money, we've already bought most of it. I wouldn't say most of it. At least a good portion, the good spots, the good areas. We get to do all the speculation, unfortunately, and the benefit that other people are going to have coming in after us is a lot. They get to learn from our lessons, and they get to see everything that we've already done, and they get to improve upon it with more information. So I think that we need to just set an example of being fair. I think we need to set the example of being a humble group, set an example of just making sure that what we're doing is for the people, not for ourselves.
Excellent. Thank you. Leading by example, being fair, being kind, compassionate. Appreciate those answers. Nameless, you're going to bring us home on this one. What's our responsibility as users right now, as early adopters, as world builders for the future of Earth2?
You know, I would probably go back to the thing I say on stream an awful lot. It's kind of like a gimmick or a joke. And I'd challenge everybody in this audience to do it. I think we all are, right? Which is to be in Earth2 the kings and queens and really leaders and world builders, to the point that you're making, Jonah, that Earth1 deserved. I'm going to be honest with everybody here, and I think we all know it and agree, Earth1 sucks. And we get to start over. We get to build it all over. We get to take thousands of years of human history and learned lessons and start all over. And with that in mind, that's why the very first thing I did is I said, if I can come into this game and I can come in early and I can come in big, and if this game is what I think it will be, it is not within the control of the devs, to Earth2 lady's point, that there's going to be turds, right? I'll use the same language. There's going to be turds in this game. And I would continue that and say we have an audience here and a community here, and the goodness of character and honor and integrity here, that we can flush them away. So that's what I think our responsibility is: keep the game pure, keep the experience pure, and make sure that we all have a blast in Earth 2 together.
Excellent. Thank you, Nameless. What I hear in your answer is what I like to talk about as the concept of guardianship. And I love the concept of guardianship because it's like a reframe of the classic warrior archetype, right? The warrior archetype is and asks the question, what am I fighting against? And oftentimes is just in the fight for the fight and is often fighting against the other. But the guardian, instead of asking, what am I fighting against? The guardian says, what am I standing for? Knows who they are, knows what they stand for, and isn't afraid to fight, but that fight is in defense of their principles and their community and their family, and will step to be a guardian where that guardianship is needed in the face of turds, as you say. And so I feel like there's really a cultivation of Earth Guardians, Earth 2 Guardians, happening within the guilds that have arisen, SHP and
Hold on, Jonah.
Alpha Kingdom.
TechOps is Gen X, not a boomer. Sorry. I look old, but still Gen X.
All right. Gen X, nice. I'm an Xennial, that like right in between Gen X and Millennial. I just learned about that, so I love flexing the Xennial. All right, this next piece that I want to reflect on, this is sort of my anthropological mind, and we won't do a full round here, but I'll leave it open to anybody who wants to comment on this. So my partner is Native American, and one of the things that has come up, first of all, she bought land right after I did. Her portfolio is worth more than mine. She bought tons of U.S. She's just really smart on the investment side of things. But, you know, we have a lot of sort of culturally minded conversations because she's a Native American. And one of the things that we talk about is about how this Earth 2 platform, it definitely has a Western bias, right? It's an international game that hopefully has an ambition to penetrate the entire world. And so far, it definitely has a Western bias. The developers are in Australia. A lot of the player pool is from United States, UK. It's very much English-speaking driven. And so we noticed when she was like, I want to pick a flag that represents like indigenous peoples. And there's no option for that. And, you know, there are indigenous peoples all over the planet that we think of indigenous people as like our ancestors, people from the past, but there are indigenous people still here. And they don't necessarily ascribe to our geopolitical country designations. They are parts of tribal nations, and there's no way for them to represent themselves with flags. That's one small example of what I'm talking about this game having Western bias. And so I don't really have an answer of like, how do we as players deal with that? It's a question for the devs, I think, about how can they make their platform more inclusive. It's also a matter of like, if they're going to penetrate into lots of other countries, like they're going to need ambassadors from all over the world, right? They're going to need their Indian team, their Russian team, their Chinese team, their their South American team, and currently that's just not existing. And so there's a really strong, heavy Western bias. And my curiosity is that starting to reproduce a colonial reality that we've seen on Earth 1. Earth 1, if you look at history, is very much, the planet's been colonized by people that look a lot like us. And right now, we're engaged in the colonization of the planet. And so how do we address that at this very formative time? I know it's a hard question.
No, I love it. I would love to kind of go down this rabbit hole and explore it. And I'm really comfortable doing so. But first, I have to ask you a question back. What do you mean when you say that look like us? I want to make sure I understand where you're at.
Yeah, thank you. That look like us in that, I'm not making any assumptions about people's race or ethnicity. But when I say that look like us, I mean like that can show up in a Zoom call, that have a computer and a webcam, that do have lighter complexion skin, that have the disposable income to be able to put into a game like this, and that all speak English,
Right.
and that have like really fancy tapestries that they hang behind them in art. And that is not to make any assumptions about people's ethnicity or race or heritage. Personally, I'm super mixed, but that's what I meant when I said that look like us.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask for clarification. And, I think it's an interesting topic because I know you had said we're almost recreating an issue that exists in Earth 1. And I don't know that that's avoidable in any sense, right? I don't know how we would make the game of this design with this intent accessible in that way. So I would look at it more as from that perspective. Yeah, of course, that's a problem. That's a global problem. I don't expect Earth 2 to solve that problem. I know that we as leaders in the community can do what we can to make it accessible. I know myself, I talk on stream a lot. I talk with this audience a lot about creating what I call play areas for the community, and then filling them up with plots and tiles. And, to your point, we give away a ton of those properties. We're going to give away over 16,000 over the course of 2021. But we can only give those to people who are in our Twitch chat and who are capable of accessing our Twitch chat and joining us on stream. So I see where you're going with it, but I don't know that I don't know what we could do to change that or have an impact on that. And then I don't know that that's the dev's fault, right? But then to the other point you had made around representation of indigenous people, being Puerto Rican myself, there's almost no indigenous people left in Puerto Rico, as far as we know, and as far as the history tells us. Over 90, most of them, I'd say it's probably over 97, 98%, they were killed in the conquest. So, you have these people and they don't really know what their heritage is. They know that they are part of a family who moved all around the world, and then here's where they ended up. So from that perspective, yeah, I would love to see custom flags. I think that's how you solve the problem, is to let people make whatever their own flag is. It bothers me that there's no rainbow flag in the game. Why on earth would the game have even come out without one? It's like a staple in the first world at this point. So yeah, I definitely see where you're going. I agree with it, but I don't know that we are in a position to fix that, right? There are people, like we said, they have to have access even to this. We're creating a virtual world where we would accept them and give them opportunities. But if they don't have the opportunity to access it, maybe that's a long-term goal of this audience, is how can we create that access in places where it doesn't exist today?
I think
awesome
one of the
answer.
really cool
Yeah, I'm not expecting us to solve this, and I don't expect the devs to solve this, but as an anthropologist, it is part of, I feel like, my responsibility to just pose the question and let us have the conversation,
I think a lot of it might have to do just with the fact that the developers speak English. And I am starting to see a lot more flags from a lot of different places. But even my 9-year-old said, how come you can't create your own flag? And I would definitely like to see customizable flags as well. I think that would add a neat little dimension to Earth 2.
Then you can finally have Alpha Kingdom flags, and you can have SHP flags.
If I were making a flag enhancement, I think the very first thing I would do is give me something less distracting. And the reason I say that is I don't know if the devs intended for people like me to do the things that I've been doing. I can't talk about it in too much detail about that here, and I'm so sorry, but we have things to share. But what happens is when you have too many flags too close to one another, you can no longer see what it is that you're working on anymore, because all you see is that it's all filled in with flags. So that's an enhancement I'd make, is maybe if you have adjacent properties, if you have multiple properties around, if you're developing an entire neighborhood, if you select one property in that neighborhood, maybe it doesn't light up and then all the other flags darken. Maybe there's just not flags or something like that, and maybe it glows a little differently. There's other ways that we could do it, that it just creates visual noise. You can't even see the buildings under the flags anymore. You can't see what's on the tiles. So yeah, flags need changes one way or the other. They need some changes.
Yeah, it seems like a really simple fix to some of these issues that we're talking about around, people claiming affiliation and claiming identity, as those issues are forefront in the world today. To have that option to create your own flag, I feel like it's a small thing, but it solves some of these issues. Now, I want to talk about another small little thing that's along similar lines, and that's the future of resources in this game. So we don't know about resources, right? We don't know what the devs have in mind, but there's a question of, like, is this game going to be the sort of like oil extraction, coal, diamonds, gold, timber kind of situation that could be critiqued as a super extractive economy system that has a bunch of external issues associated with it, especially environmental destruction. And if there's not things like alternative energy that can be developed, are we going to be, as users, voices and advocates to the developers that we want to see those things? We want to see those tracks of alternative energy because we see and we know that those are important for the future of Earth 1, so they should be represented in Earth 2. Also, no order here. This is popcorn.
Okay. Thinking about it, like, yes, that is valuable on Earth 1, but at the same time, we're not going to run out of digital oil on Earth 2. So it's
not going to get poisoned either.
Yeah. But
not going to die from climate change.
Yeah. And when me and Nameless went through after the first live rush, we did a deep dive on the trailer, and it shows buildings, and on those buildings were solar panels on top.
Nice.
Yeah, either solar panels or like maybe AC units. What I will say is that it definitely looked like in-game footage. It looked like it was built there to be part of the game and not just part of a trailer, if that makes sense. What I wonder is if you have these things of sustainable energy, if the purpose of building the game is to create this flow of resources and this economic model, and we're going to sell ad space and we're going to have these real world interactions where someone can visit a place on Earth 1 that you have developed in Earth 2, and they will see in Earth 1 on their phone what you've developed in Earth 2. So as you do these sort of things and you have ad revenue and all those other items, while I see how it adds a necessary vision of Earth 1 into Earth 2, I don't know how it supports the design of the game, right? If we set up solar panels everywhere on Earth 2, eventually it would almost feel like maybe the system of resources that they're basing an entire economy off of that we've all invested in so heavily, it becomes useless. You know what I mean? If you never need to buy coal again, then the coal resource is no longer valuable in the game. And then that continues to happen with more and more resources. And, it's just something I suspect. I think that's also an issue on Earth 1, right? I consider myself an environmentalist as well, but I see where we see so much opposition to environmentalism. And it's because these people say, well, what about my profits, right? So when you're talking about a video game in particular, I think you lose some of the audience you have, and I might even say myself included. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to see what that really looks like long term. But I do think that and we have some influence over that as this group, right? How can we say, and I think what you're getting at, Jonah, correct me if I'm wrong, is what can we do to use Earth 2 as sort of a springboard to influence better decisions on Earth One, a better environment on Earth One. And I think it's amazing. I still have a big question of how, and I have a lot of star crafting up here to do to get there. But I would love to dive into that further. I definitely want to hear from other folks. Otherwise, I'm going to pick on you. He said popcorn, so I'm going to popcorn otherwise, and I want to hear from you on this.
Oh man, playing the popcorn question. Just to rephrase, just to make sure that I'm getting the question right. I want to make sure that I'm answering correctly. Jonah, can you repeat the question for me, please?
Yeah, sure. We're talking about resources and extraction, and acknowledging that on Earth One, there's a lot of externalities and negative impacts of extractive economies that are based off of fossil fuels. And so is there a possibility for Earth-2 to be progressive enough to include regenerative energy, right? Let's say coal is at the top, and then oil is the next, and then there's solar that it costs the most to set up, but once you get it set up, it's the cleanest and it goes forever. And maybe, SimCity had pollution, right? So couldn't Earth-2 have pollution associated with coal and oil that then, there's negative impact in regions, and so there's an incentive to move beyond that. And wouldn't that be helpful if we're talking about the impact that Earth-2 can have on Earth-1 to be cultivating the mindset of developing alternative energies? That's the question.
All right, so let me first of all say that question was a whole entire page long, and there was like 30 questions within it. So I'm going to get back to the very main simple point of the question. The reason why I asked you to restate it was because I had these guys, they were talking about the nice solar panels, and it got me distracted, and I was on a different thought pattern about some solar business that I was at a little bit earlier. But so when it comes to the game, I don't think there's a way to personify Earth 1 into it, or Earth 2 onto Earth 1. Because, or Earth, whatever you want to call it. I guess we're calling it Earth 1 now. We're on Earth 1, this is Earth 2, whatever. But the issue with the game mechanics is you can't have regenerative energy. Like you got to have your stamina, you got to have your wasteful resources. Otherwise, unless you're putting the money in to remake those to make it regenerative. Sorry, excuse my language. Unless you built the mill to build your arrows, to go out there to fire the arrows in the middle of a war, there's no point to the game. So I think as far as progressive energy goes, when it comes into this game, I don't think there's a possibility of it. One resource that I would love to see, I don't know if it'll ever happen or not, but I totally want magic in Earth 2. I don't know if anybody else does.
I love fantasy. I think it's amazing. And I do want to apologize to everyone. I was not laughing at otherwise at all. I just want to give such a massive shout out to the chat and the love that you were showing TechOps. I know how much I love TechOps. It's funny. It almost led to a little bit of an organizational beef because, of course, he's high up in SHP, and we almost promoted him in Alpha Kingdom and forgot to even check if he was a leader in SHP because we love him so much. And you guys are just killing me. So shout out to the chat. The chat, you are the MVP of this stream. So sorry otherwise if we had distracted anyone. I see Stern's dying over there.
I'm trying to hold it together.
Yeah.
I really
And Earth2 Lady, I definitely want to hear from you on this one as well. I just wanted to acknowledge that. I don't want anyone to see this later who doesn't see the chat and thinks I was just laughing at otherwise answer, because that was not the case.
I'm going to interrupt. I just got it. I got it on my phone.
I'm going to have to close the chat, and I don't want to do that because I love you guys, but I didn't know you all love TechOps as much as we do, and it's so cool.
TechOps fan club in creation.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I love you guys. All right.
TechOps, speak to the people. You got any input on this conversation?
Oh, where were we at? Because I did have some things I wanted to say. I think it was that this is a real platform. Okay, regardless of whether they put my business stuff in there, my school stuff in there, this is a platform that's going to allow for organization of people across the planet. I've ranted on in the chat about how, the government will shut down a union, government will shut down anybody trying to organize, if they feel an uprising. It's going to be real hard for them to find the organization in this platform. And it could be a real game changer for toppling the system. I mean, if Elon's Starlink really gets rolling and the people of North Korea somehow gain access to a free internet where they can talk to us and we can let them know that no, that guy's not an immortal being. He's just a man that is totally wrecking your guys' lives. Maybe we can help them organize, put themselves in a better system of government. I don't know what the best system of government is because ours is not necessarily doing a whole lot for us, but that's it. It's an organizational platform.
No doubt, and we're so early in the emergent nature of it. It's really exciting to see where it all is going to go. Do you have any input on the idea of? I guess the question boils down to: is regenerative energy possible in Earth-2? I heard otherwise say no, he doesn't think it's possible. And with all due respect, I personally would love to challenge that and say, what if we held it as possible and insisted to the devs that we want to see it possible? And can we imagine how it would work in terms of game mechanics?
Oh, there's so many answers to that question. Because, I mean, if it's limited, that could help with values. It would certainly have an effect on supply and demand. If it was unlimited, yeah, I think people would possibly lose interest faster. And I mean, enough games have limited resources. I don't see why it would be impossible. I mean, that shouldn't be too horribly hard to program.
If the game doesn't have limited resources, then I don't see what the point is of buying Class 1 tiles versus Class 3. That's the whole point. Yeah.
Well, I would probably counter that, and I would imagine, like any video game, it'll all be back. It'll respawn. It'll have a cooldown. You can replant, something along those lines. And then we'll notice that time moves a lot faster, right? You replant trees, they'll be fully grown, ready to chop down tomorrow, something like that. And the reason I say that is because of the level of popularity that this could have if all you did was virtually chop trees all day and none of them ever came back, or they took, Earth 1 amount of time to come back, but it didn't take Earth 1 amount of effort to remove them. I don't see how that could work. I think keep in mind, we're going to be trading resources for Earth 1 money, right? And for credit. So I think there'll be some punishing factors to trying to acquire mass amounts of resources.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. That makes more sense.
Yeah. So it's I think it's one of the things in the FAQ. So it is confirmed that if I have 100 lumber, right, I could sell that to you for some pre-agreed upon amount of money. And then how they intend to incentivize trading is, let's say we've done a Guidebook Gaming giveaway and you have a 6-tile plot or a 10-tile plot or something along those lines, and you want to chop down all the trees on your land. Well, that's only so many. Now you can chop down the trees on other people's land, but the person who owns that land will get an almost a residual benefit. They'll receive a fraction of what you've gathered. So maybe you use everything that you've chopped down, you're just over it, and you say, you know what, screw it, I really want to build my virtual house. I'll pay $10 for the lumber that I need. You'll almost definitely be buying it from someone like myself whose whole sort of plan here was to create these community areas for people to play on, give them something beautiful, and just collect that residual piece off of what they play on while maintaining their gaming experience and giving them enhancements and giving back to the community because they're doing so much to support you.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of getting at, is if everybody had all the resources they need, there wouldn't be a marketplace or a demand for resources.
Yeah.
Oh no, what if everybody had everything they needed? And
Settle down. Take it easy, TechOps.
Hey, what if this is a jumping off platform? Maybe it's going to evolve like how taxes are a pretty important part of the game right now, but in phase 3, not really going to be there. Maybe resources are going to be an important part of building up this world, which in Earth 1 it was, but we don't need that anymore in Earth 1. Maybe at some point we won't need that in Earth 2, and we can do more. We can enlighten ourselves. We can do better things than have people work our land so that they can get us money for resources, you know?
Hey,
And we heard a recommendation for the movie Pay It Forward. I also am going to make another recommendation, and that is Aldous Huxley, Island. And it's his counterpoint to Brave New World. Brave New World was very dystopian, and Island is about a utopian vision for a society. And I think it's relevant for us to be thinking in those terms as we talk about building the world that we want to live in and avoiding some of the pitfalls of Earth 1. If we can be holding as utopian a vision of the future as possible, that in some way, shape, or form, I trust and hope is going to have some impact as we world builders and early adopters are engaged in this awesome game. Thank you, TechOps, for your perspective, and I am quickly becoming a part of the TechOps fan club.
So do we know if the developers have any plans for weapons?
There will be PvP. We know that from the FAQ.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I need to check that out.
And
We did. I don't mean to plug myself. I'm really sorry, but I have to because it may save you some time if you read the FAQ and have follow-ups. Otherwise, and I did a 2-part full deep dive of the FAQ, read through every single question, sprinkled in additional thoughts where we had them. I share what I think the game is going to be. Otherwise, shares what he thinks it's going to be. So for anyone else who hasn't seen them, they're definitely worth checking out. So yeah, they're in the history videos here, and they're slowly making their way over to YouTube.
And I do also want to mention that I see you, Stern. We'll put you in stack to speak next. I saw you, TechOps, about to say something, so we got Stern and then TechOps, and then we're going to do another giveaway. But I do want to also mention that I was in the Earth2 Discord, and someone asked Wolfgang about Warfare, and his response was, if you want a Warfare game, go play a Warfare game. This is not going to be a Warfare game. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be conflict, and there's going to be places where you can engage in PvP if you are into that sort of thing, but on a larger scale, this is not meant to be a Warfare video game. So I watched him type that.
Was that officially confirmed?
What's that?
It sounded like you said that was pretty official. That was officially confirmed. It won't be a war game.
Yeah, that was Wolfgang's response in the official Discord was, if you want a Warfare video game, go play a Warfare video game. This will not be that. But Perfect. There will be conflict.
Thank you.
And my whole point behind it is, if they really want this game to be successful, if you look at all the biggest video games, what do they all involve? Warfare. That's just...
That's why I asked.
It's Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, God of War, StarCraft. Every popular video game involves warfare. If they don't involve it somehow, this game's going to be a complete snooze fest. Yeah. If it's just walk around in this utopia world, nobody's going to play it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because I think they did say that there was going to be a clear demarcation between the PvP side and the mundane, as you would call it, but the more fun side that I think.
Yeah.
And then another thing I would really like to do at some point, and I want to do this possibly before the dev stream, because there's so much that I am so confident that they're going to announce tonight. And what I wanted to pose to you, Jonah, is before we pass it around or close it out, rather, if you didn't mind going around and maybe doing top 1, 2, 3 predictions, 1 sentence or less apiece. We don't need a rant from anyone. And just let's challenge ourselves to give the community our insight and say, I think this, this, and this, and whether or not we get it.
Yeah, I love that. And that's where we're going. So we're on the same page because we're talking about what the future is going to hold next segment, right? We've done where we came from, where we're at now, and then we're going into the future. So we'll definitely do that. Did Nightbot call a winner?
It was me.
Yeah,
Oh, it sure wasn't. It was Kevin in the club.
Kevin's in the club.
Was the winner I have as of 1028. AJX. No, wait. I'm trying to find it here. Who's Kevin in the club?
Kevin in the club.
Yay. Yeah, there he is. So let me go ahead and throw this in the chat for you. And then you just go ahead and bid 1 penny on this. All you got to do is go to that link, give it to 1 penny. If I could give it to you for absolutely nothing, I would. I promise. If you bid anything higher than a penny, I'm going to counter offer you for only 1 penny, and it'll be up to you to accept it. We do the giveaways for a reason. We love all of you. We appreciate you being here. And the TechOps love is so real. You know, it's another Earth2 first. Almost every time we do this stream, we have another thing. Now, if anybody notices, we don't have Otherwise and Stronghammer on camera yet. So we have the Otherwise, Stronghammer, Conspiracy. There's a handful of other ones, and now we have this this massive love for TechOps. I love what we're doing, what we're building, and that we're all here. So go for it, Jonah. If you want to take it back away or go around.
Yeah, I want to give love and props to everyone on the stream, TechOps included. TechOps, you want to talk? What's up?
There was a question in the chat that said, what was my jacket made of? So I did check, and it says Dreams and Sunshine.
Yes. Yes. I was there when he bought it. Can confirm I was the Dreams and Sunshine.
That's
I
awesome.
can't see the general chat. I can only see you guys.
We'll have to. Oh, yeah. It's like a multi-monitor sort of deal. What we'll do is we'll try to continue enhancing this as we go. This is our first panel, everyone. We get better as we go every time. I think you all know that. And then one of the things we'll focus on next time, Earth2 Lady, is that if you're here with us, we'll try to make sure that everybody's got access to the chat.
Awesome.
Yeah, so what I was saying was props to everybody who agreed to come on stream with your face, your beautiful face, and your perspectives and your thoughts and your ideas. All of your ideas are valued and appreciated, and there's a space for your voice. Thank you, Otherwise. Thank you, TechOps. Thank you, Nameless. Thank you, Stern. Thank you, Earth2 Lady. Thank you, everyone in the chat who showed up and is showing love. Looks like Guidebook Gaming just put all of your panelists' codes in the chat. Show them some love if you're buying land tonight. Pick your favorite panelist. Give them a little love. And we're going to zoom into our last segment, which is Where Are We Going? And I love the Nameless's suggestion for doing a quick lightning round of predictions of what we're going to learn about Phase 2. So let's do lightning round predictions. What are we going to learn tonight from the developers around Phase 2? Let's start with Earth2 Lady.
Well, I don't think that I'm informed enough. I think I need to go over the facts section a little bit more than what I have. I have just been so enthusiastic about playing that, I have not been looking over as much of the stuff from the developers as I probably should have been, but I will play catch up and hopefully have more informed opinions soon. But I mean, it's so early. I mean, we're all in here at the beginning of it that I think it's almost impossible to go wrong at this point.
What a humble answer. You know when you've got someone who is confident enough to say, I don't know, that is someone that has some wisdom.
Thank you.
Otherwise,
predictions. One quick sentence. I only got one for this one sentence. I think that there is a high possibility that the economy within this game will be able to improve economies worldwide.
boom.
Yeah.
Love it.
Definitely.
That's part of the thread that we've been talking about, right? Nameless.
Trailer, resources, and I would really urge everyone to not lose your mind if we find out that we have grown so much so fast that some things we thought we were going to get sooner, we have to get a little bit later. Those are my 3 predictions.
All right. Stern.
I honestly think we're probably going to get a trailer, but no other information other than that. I think this is going to be hey, this is our team. We're real people. We're not robots like the conspiracy theories in E2 Gen Chat. And I think it's just going to be kind of this is what we're working on right now, and they're not going to give us any future information.
Nice. I kind of agree with you. TechOps.
All right, I have no predictions for what Phase 2's got in store, but I'd like to give my long-term prediction, the end results of this game. All right, Elon Musk creates Neuralink. We all get it implanted in our heads. We don't even have to have VR gear. We get connected. We're in the Matrix. We don't even need big houses anymore, so they'll just stick us in a tube because that's all we really need to do to play this game. We'll all be stacked rows and rows and rows, powering some kind of crazy... Wait. Yeah. I'm good.
All right. I think I agree with Stern. I think my prediction for tonight is that they're going to come on and be like, hey, we haven't gotten on any sort of media and let you know who we are and showed our voices and our faces, sort of like we're doing here. And we just want to introduce ourselves to you, let you know that we've been busting our asses for the last 3 weeks and that we're really tired. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them look really tired. And I think that they are going to tease us about resources, but not really tell us much more that we don't already know. I do, however, have a prediction that I want to go on record for or with about resources. And that prediction is that the map box already has like biome tag coding within it. We see it on the map view in different colored shaded tiles, like green tiles have forest and trees. There's even hedges. There's sand, there's rock, there's airports, there's educational complexes, there's hospitals, there's Arctic, there's higher elevation. All of these things are actually, if you look at the map box document on what their platform is all about, these things are coded into those tiles already. To me, that says low-hanging fruit, easiest pathway for the developers to have resources spawn in something close to what they've called biomes. That's my prediction, is that it's been in front of us all along on the map view. But I could be totally wrong, and it's going to be completely random, but that's my prediction. Cool. Good lightning round. The next question is more of a sort of open-ended question around what do we see for the future of this platform? And again, just like we've been talking about for the whole evening, this is from a cultural perspective, from a sort of global systems perspective. And I want to pose the question, how can Earth2 positively influence Earth1? And I heard otherwise say like economic boon for people worldwide. Yeah. And I love that vision. So more answers like that. How can Earth2 positively influence Earth1?
I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in this one since you did a little call out there, and I wanna say why I said that. And the fact is, I think that if the economy stays true how it is within what they're building now on how you can increase your value through land, through what eventually is going to be resources, I think eventually what's going to happen is you're going to be able to go to work within Earth2, and you're going to be able to make money that day. It'll be deposited into your account that day from your job on Earth2, and you will be able to improve your lives from that. So I'm not saying just the United States. I'm not saying Australia. I'm saying anywhere you can get a headset, an Oculus, a PC, or anything like that, you're going to have the opportunity, unfortunately, unfairly, because not everybody has a PC or the ability to get an Oculus, but you'll be able to do that. And with that happening, what's going to happen is more and more of the world is going to realize, hey, I can get a job doing this. So even the poorer countries are going to become richer because they're going to have people that eventually get into the system. They're going to have people getting onto Oculuses, onto PCs to go into this game to make money. And I think the way that'll end up happening, just as a quick side split, is you'll have these rich people, unfortunately, that come in, they recognize the population underneath them needs to be more educated, more all this other thing. And what will happen is they'll educate them and do everything enough so that they can get onto this system and make money.
Thank you. Otherwise, we're in popcorn phase here, so if anyone's got something to add to this question of where we're going, I see you, TechOps. Go for it.
All right. So I just think that there's a potential for so many missed opportunities if they don't go the business route, if they don't go the school route, if they don't let me open a Qigong studio where everybody can see their chakras opening as we perform movements throughout the session. I mean, if everybody wants to let them know, I'll move to Australia and help them develop the ideas, the concept for this, and I'm not too bad with computers too. So,
awesome. Nameless, let's hear from you, man.
So there's so many amazing things happening right now that I would have to ask you for the question again. I'm sorry, Jonah.
Yeah, the question is, where do we see this going in the future, and what is the possibility of Earth2 to positively influence Earth1?
Right. Okay. So, I mean, for us, for me personally, I think it would go back to the first three things I said, which is honor, integrity, and character. We can be good, right? We think about be good. We think of like behave when a kid is being bad, but be good means to take the goodness that we have and to spread it out throughout the world. And that's my main goal, is if we can take that goodness. I mean, the reality is it's happening now. We're not meeting each other in Earth2. We may have all met each other because of Earth2, but we met in Earth1. Earth2 is not here yet. So from that perspective, I would say that Earth2 is already having a positive impact on Earth1. I think we got 6 people here. I think at least 4 of us are memes. We're celebrities in tiny little communities, and we love those communities, and we appreciate them, and we give them good things, and we support them, and they support us. And these are things that, especially with COVID, and I think Earth Lady mentioned this at the very, very beginning of the panel, which is COVID has just really screwed everybody's life up this year. And having something like this to bring so many people together fresh before we can even go hang out and sit and have a beer or a burger, it's amazing. So just for anyone who's listening and you're wondering what can we do on Earth2 to bring that goodness back to Earth1, that's all it is. Just be good, spread that goodness, the love, appreciate one another, and we can change 2 worlds. That's how big it could be. TechOps love, everybody. TechOps love in the chat.
Love that answer, Nameless. Earth2 lady, you got any words of wisdom for us for how Earth2 can positively influence Earth1 in the future?
We were talking about different cultures, and I know some people are kind of apprehensive about hanging out with, different groups of people for whatever reason. I mean, they might feel like there's safety concerns or, any number of things. And the cool thing about Earth2 is you could mix and mingle with anybody. And if you found yourself, uncomfortable for whatever reason, you could just remove yourself from the situation. And it's much, maybe safer is not the right word, but I guess on an emotional level, it would feel safer. And so I feel like people might take more risks mixing and mingling with people that they might not ever experience otherwise.
I'm blown away. I love the feminine aspect that's being provided here. Can we get more female panelists next time?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because one of the things we try to do, we want to keep diversifying. Jonah, do you want to talk about our journey to diversify the panel that you wanted to bring here and what we plan to do in the future to bring that to the community and TechOps? I think that's a fantastic question.
Yeah, no doubt. We want the representation and the faces that come forward on the content that's created on this channel and in future panels, especially panels that I host, to represent the diversity of the community. And so we want to hear from all the different perspectives, all the different backgrounds. We want a good balance of the feminine and the masculine, and a healthy diversity of humans, because that's what Earth is, right? It's a big old conglomeration of lots of different people from lots of different places. And so we want to continue to expand into and lean into diversifying, especially as this, penetrates into other countries. And it's happening. I mean, I've seen a bunch of YouTube videos in other languages already, just in the last few days. So we're nearing the end, but I want to put TechOps on the spot. TechOps, I want you to bring us home with your wild speculation 5D theory, please. Lay it on us.
That the 5D theory was too long for me to even post in a chat. I'd have to read it out. We don't got enough time. Please visit #wild-speculation in the SHP Discord channel.
You can't even give us the Reader's Digest version?
I'm so overwhelmed that my mind is blank. I can't even remember how it starts.
All right. Well, it's pretty epic, people. So I think that's a recruitment strategy. Does that sound like a recruitment strategy, Nameless?
What's interesting is when TechOps and I spoke, and probably I haven't even addressed this with you yet, TechOps, so I'll do it publicly. When we had spoke, you were trying to present this thing to me, and you were like really, really passionate about it. And you were like, I really want to talk to you about this 5D. And I was like, TechOps, I want to hear all of these amazing things, but I really want to build this town. We were both, oh snap, we were both so focused on the thing we were passionate about at the time, and we weren't able to connect it. And I think we ended up talking about the town. And now I see the love in the chat, and I realize I have to put some respect on TechOps' name, and I got to hear all about this 5D. We're going to have to connect, knowing the two of us probably at some ungodly hour in the middle of the night when the sun's about to come up. And I got to hear all about it, man. I'd be glad to do it.
All right.
TechOps, do you mind if I try to provide my feeble translation of it?
Please do.
All right. So my understanding of TechOps' wild speculation, and he can let me know if I'm on the right path, is people within some spiritual communities have been talking about the ascension of humans into the fifth dimension, right? We're fourth dimensional beings right now, three-dimensional in our physical bodies and in the physical world, moving through time, which is the fourth dimension, and that there's a fifth dimension that when we ascend, we can step into. And some people even say that fifth dimension is like the astral realm, the place where we go where we're dreaming, and that there's the possibility that humans can ascend to that fifth dimension if they elevate their consciousness and their vibration high enough. And some people theorize that's what happened to the Mayans, that they got enlightened and disappeared, but what they really did was they elevated and ascended into the fifth dimension. And so for those traditions that talk about ascension into the fifth dimension, they talk about the fifth dimension as this reality that's superimposed on our physical reality. It's around us all the time. It's just another octave of non-physical reality that we can exist in our thought bodies and our astral bodies and our energy bodies. And so what if Earth 2 as a superimposed virtual reality over Earth 1 is the manifestation of that prophecy of the 5D coming into reality? Is that sort of it?
You got it, Jonah.
Nice.
I mean, it feels like that.
So TechOps, you're like a master teacher as well.
You wouldn't believe how many private messages I get a day asking me about spirituality stuff.
Nice. That's awesome. I get it about town building, so I could somewhat imagine.
Yeah.
I get it about the blue peanut meme. That's all
Yeah.
I get.
Well, I can tell you, no one on this panel has ever gotten the love in the chat that TechOps is getting right now. And we're gonna let everybody know. I've already reached out. We're going to try and get TechOps on the stream as soon as we can. We'll try to fit it into his busy schedule. He's a super busy guy, but the democracy has clearly spoken. TechOps is going to be riots in the streets if we can't get you back on here.
I'll be there.
Well, that covers all the terrain that I wanted to cover, y'all. I really appreciate y'all for humoring me and going into the places that I wanted to go into, past, present, future, cultural, community, some sticky questions. I just appreciate all of you for sitting through it with me. Thank you to the chat for being here all the way through. 50 people at the very end of an hour and 49-minute stream. I think that's pretty epic.
Oh, of course. TechOps has the mic drop. TechOps, can you get up and walk away? I would love to see you get up and walk away. Yes!
He's out. He's out.
That's it.
TechOps is such a G.
You think he comes back in? How long do you think until?
No, we have to kill the call. No, go.
He's back. Oh. Hey, did I see those dad shoes on? You got some New Balance?
He's all of our dad. It was already in the chat. He's all of our dad. It's Grats.
TechOps is Chuck Norris's dad.
Somebody has to be. So yeah, somebody clip that mic drop. I'll find it for sure. I'll make a point of it. We've never had, and it's humbling for me as well, right? Because even myself, we've never had this type of response from anything we've done or said or any guest, and the love that is here for TechOps. He's just going to be a feature of this stream, even if he doesn't join us again. TechOps love is going to be a thing here all the time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make that a keyword.
Yeah, we can link the Discord. We'll do that for you right now. Thank you for being here. I am going to throw everybody's referral code in the chat again. We will close out the stream to make sure that we give the Earth2 devs a little bit of breathing room and we can follow them, see if our predictions came true, see what's going on. They're not live quite yet. There is the referral code of all of your panelists. Obviously, TechOps is going to clean house today. I can't wait to see it happen. We're going to have TechOps on tomorrow for at least 30 seconds so he can show us his referral income after tonight.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I did throw a link to the Discord in the chat as well. You can join the Alpha Kingdom. We'll be here for you. We've got tons of SHP mods in here. Can somebody who is a mod from SHP drop an SHP Discord link in the chat, please? I do know that there were some people who wanted to post some links from Reddit. We were not able to connect and get the right names communicated so that we could get those people up to mod permission. As soon as I get the names of the people, who we need to have as mods, I'm here every day, right? But this is all happening as a team. As you can see, the regulars are right here on this panel. So we're all supporting each other. We figure out who needs to be a mod and we'll make it happen so that everybody has the best chat experience as well. So thank you everyone for being here. And that was it for me. Jonah, it's your panel. Earth2 lady. Otherwise, who has closing thoughts?
It's been such
I
a
just want
pleasure.
to thank everybody for coming here.
Oh, that's it. I have to kill it. We're done. Oh, it's over. It's dead. Cut
it.
Oh, that was so fucking cool. Holy shit. TechOps, you're the Earth2 celebrity. You're the guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy. Would you join me on stream like every day? You're the guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
We're going to have 100 viewers by the end of the week. You're the guy.
This is insane, man.
Have you guys been dying or what?
Dude, I was trying not to crack up the whole time.
You know what was worth is poor otherwise. I don't know what it was. Every time you had something to say, it was TechOps. I was like, why is it every time otherwise has something to say? So I'm like sitting here laughing, Stern's laughing. Fucking shit, man. I'm going to refer you on like 100.
Off or something.
Yeah. Oh, that was crazy.
Hey, so in all reality, naturally, it's perfectly okay because normally in real life, I'm actually a pretty quiet person.
Yeah. Oh, they love you, man. They love you. And I would just bow out of here, but I bought this fancy mic stand, so I think I'll keep doing this stream.
I'm here for you whenever.
And I have this very nice, window back here.
Yeah. That's a great window. Where's that?
I meant to ask my wife to iron it because I certainly wasn't going to do it. I spend all day clicking on tiles for you all. We're going to do something that is so fucking real. Like, it's not fake, everyone. I'm a little more relaxed and cool and chill in a regular call than I am on stream, but it's not a joke. We're going to do something so fucking cool and give it back to the community and give them a game. So here's what I won't say publicly. And my biggest prediction and what I'm most confident about in Earth2 is that it's a virtual casino. And what I've said, some people have heard me say it, I'll say it to this whole audience, is if they're going to build a virtual casino and I can get in this early and I can get it for 10 cents a tile, I'm going to be giving out chips at the door. That's my goal. So We're going to have a good time. I'm super happy everyone was here. I'm going to go downstairs and watch this stream with my wife because she promised to watch it with me and maybe hate Earth 2 a tiny little bit less when it's over. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to peace out.
This was awesome. This was better than I thought it was going to turn out. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.
Wait, where is he? This way. Is he this way for everyone? Right here.
He's over here for me.
Well, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. Thank you all so much, and we appreciate it. And I'll catch you all soon, I'm sure.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.